This is Ken Smith reminding you it happened today, April 19th. But the year was 1770. British explorer Captain James Cook first sights Australia, 1770. It was on this day the American Revolution begins at Lexington, Massachusetts. It was called the Shot, heard around the world. It took place in Concord at the command, "Don't fire till you see the whites of their eyes." 1775. It was the same day that Paul Revere made his famous ride from Lexington to Concord. It was also on this day that upon finding David Livingstone, Stanley, the reporter, asked the question, "Dr. Livingstone, I presume, and whatever happened to Stanley?" He said you couldn't be in the presence of Livingstone without becoming a Christian. And so he did. He spent the remainder of his life bringing food and relief, Bibles, to the Congo, fighting against the slave trade. He adopted an African slave named Kadulu. Joan of Arc was captured, put on trial. The trial began in January of 1431. Joan of Arc withstood days of interrogation before being found guilty of the charge of dressing in men's clothing. She agreed to wear women's clothing, but later, again, she wore men's clothing to avoid being raped. As a result, she was condemned as a heretic, burnt at the stake. It was on this day, 1909, that Joan of Arc receives and is declared a saint by the Roman Catholic Church on this day, 1909. It was on this day that actress Mae West was found guilty of obscenity and corrupting the morals of youth in a New York stage play entitled Sex. She's sentenced to 10 days in prison, fined $500. The resulting publicity launched her Hollywood career. That happened on this day, 1927. Johnny Cash released his single, Ring of Fire. It was written by his future wife, June Carter. The song was released on this day, 1963. Charles Manson was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Sharon Tate on this day, 1971. Timothy McVeigh, on this day in 1995, sets a truck bomb which blew up the federal building in Oklahoma City, killing 168 people, injuring 500. He will eventually be sentenced to death. And so there's good news and bad news, confusing news. Behind it all is the good news that this is the day the Lord has made. We'll rejoice and be glad in it.